Hello and welcome to State Game Lands 211. I am on a path today that I've been on oodles of times, and I actually tried to record my intro like 3 times and I had to stop because I kept finding beautiful things to take pictures of instead. Today we are going to be hiking, hopefully, if I can find it. There's what looks like a random path in the woods that goes out to these ponds. And it's one of my favorite places. I've never been on that path and actually seen other humans, so truth be told, that's part of why I like it. And it's also just really beautiful. Gosh, it just looks so pretty today. It's just such a beautiful day. I'm gonna flip you around a second here. I'm gonna face you this way while I do my intro. This is way better than looking at me. So, anyway, the path that I'm gonna try to take today, it's definitely the road less traveled, and I absolutely love it back there. I'm not sure, I've only ever been back there when the foliage is down. It's not too full yet, so here's to hoping. My goal is to actually set a trail cam up at one of these ponds so I can come back and grab that SD card, a couple weeks or a month and see what I can see. Somehow I didn't charge all of my GoPro batteries. Thank goodness for my portable charger, which is now charging them. I have 1 battery left. So we might be switching to the phone at some point, which isn't really what I wanted to do, but it is what it is. Note to self, double check that you charge GoPro batteries. It is beautiful out. This area is just absolutely gorgeous to begin with. We'll do a little scan. Flip you around. Again, this all gets grown up in the summertime. Looks like a big gigantic hay field. You can hear the bugs buzzing. Spring is here, my friends. Spring is here. So before too long, we'll be coming upon the trailhead that I'm looking for. That is going to, hopefully, if my memory serves me correctly, take me to these really cool ponds. All right, we have arrived at the trailhead that I was looking for. Let me flip you around again. So we did come across the field, which was my reminder as to why I don't do this when it starts getting hot out. The grass is really tall. So, we'll keep you on for a little bit here. We start off with this very rocky trail. If I remember correctly though, it kind of evens out. Some of this is kind of high. I did stop and put on some, but hopefully will work, all natural tick spray. Because I know the ticks are really bad this year. And I feel like Lyme disease would put a huge cramp in my hiking plans, so try to avoid ticks. Okay. actually hung up my trail cam. We're in this really pretty spot here, heading to another nice location. I would not I would not recommend trying this unless you have a clue where you are. So the trails are a little bit difficult to see on a normal day, but you can see, like, here on the forest floor, with all the wind and weather that we've been having, like, it looks like there's either paths everywhere or destruction everywhere, and that's making it a little bit more difficult to navigate. Because I didn't turn you back on for a while because I've been walking with my all trails in my hand. I'm actually gonna, I think that's the path over there, but I'm actually gonna go up this hill because it looks easier. Yikes. So this is definitely been more adventurous than it was the first time I did it, because it was harder to see where exactly you're supposed to be. So again, like right now, you can see the forest floor is just littered. While I was at the pond, I heard a tree go down in the distance, so it's stuff's not done coming down yet. I think I see my spot though. Just have to figure out how in the world I'm going to get to it. I believe this looks like the path of least resistance. We're on the right track. That's my spot. So hopefully I managed to get the trail cam successfully stuck to that tree and it doesn't fall off. Otherwise I'll have a chunk of change sitting in the pond. But I feel like I did a good job getting it on there. So this here, and I'm sure other people, like hunters and other people, have found this spot, because there's other ways to get in here. This is a very peaceful spot. So true to form, I wrote a short story about State Game Lands 211 because I'm Miss Rao and I teach English and I write stories. So here we go. I have to read it off of paper. It's too long to memorize. Tucked away in the rolling hills of Lebanon County, Pennsylvania, there lies a road with a name that stirs the imagination. Gold Mine Road. Today it winds quietly through the trees of Cold Spring Township, a route favored by hikers, hunters, and history seekers. But if you listen closely, the forest still whispers the story of what once was. In the 19th century, long before the road was just a line on a map or a waypoint on a trail app, this part of Pennsylvania buzzed with life. The mountains held more than just beauty. They promised opportunity. Small settlements like Roush Gap, Ellendale, and the resort of Cold Spring sprang to life, carved into this wilderness by determined hands. These communities thrived on three great hopes of the time: mining, logging, and the railroad. Though no gold rush swept through these hills as it had in the West, prospectors believed that the rugged ridges of Cold Spring Township might yield some precious metals. The Gold and Gold Mine Road was never a legend spun from nothing. It was born from real efforts to uncover something valuable beneath the soil. I don't know if they ever actually found gold, but in Pennsylvania, coal is black gold. Small-scale mining operations dotted the region, Their pits and tunnels slowly swallowed by time. The work was tough, and the yields were modest, but for those who came seeking a better life, even a glimmer was enough to keep digging. Coal was the gold of this mining town. The forest, dense and towering, brought their own fortune. Timber crews moved through like phantoms, their saws echoing through the valleys, feeding the needs of a growing nation. And it was the railroads, with their steel tracks laid over stone beds, that gave these isolated settlements a lifeline. The railroad system carried people, goods, and industry through the mountains, weaving these tiny towns into something greater. Gold Mine Road served as a vital passage between it all. Along its length, repair depots and worker shacks once stood. In Cold Spring, the mineral springs drew visitors seeking health and leisure. The village thrived for a time, complete with a resort and a hotel. But like the gold itself, that prosperity was fleeting. By the early 20th century, the mines closed. The logs were gone, and the trains grew quiet. The towns were emptied. Cold Spring became a ghost resort, its hotel gone. Roush Gap fell silent, its last residents gone. Ellendale faded into memory, its foundations left for the moss to reclaim. A Gold Mine Road cuts through Pennsylvania State Game Lands 211, a sanctuary of wildlife and history. The trails lead to remnants of the past. You can find collapsed bridges, iron rails swallowed by the earth, stones that once formed hearths and homes. These relics are all that remain of a time when the mountains teemed with dreams. The name Gold Mine endures, not just for the metal that was once hunted, but for the human hope that filled this place with life. That is the true gold of these hills, the stories etched into the forest floor, waiting for someone to come along and remember. It's really interesting when you're walking through the Pennsylvania wilderness how much the landscape can change in just a few steps. So, half of a turkey wrap with Dijon dressing consumed, a few sips of water, and we're ready to go. So I'm back on my all trails. That looks like a path there. I'm back on my all trails, kind of trying to figure out which way I want to go. Not really sure. I've got two ways I can go. I think I kind of want to go this way. This is very inviting. We're going to try it. If I go far enough in this direction, I'll actually hit the main road again, which isn't the worst thing. There's plenty more to see if you keep going up that road. But the landscape in here is really cool. It's really neat to look at. Ooh, glad I was looking down. So we've got an incredibly marshy area here. I kind of want to go see what's down there, but I need to figure out a roundabout way. Alright. Looks like if I go this direction a little bit, it might get less marshy. Maybe. Oh no, it gets more marshy. It looks less marshy, and then it got more marshy. Oh. Alright, I gotta take my steps carefully here. Interesting. So, this actually might not be a bad spot for another trail cam setup. Of course, it won't stay wet like that all summer. I'm going to try to cross here without muddying my trees. That actually wasn't too bad. I picked a good spot. Alright, so we do have a marshy swamp here. So we're gonna go sorry, I'm looking at all trails. Really, last time made some crazy loops. I actually think I might have picked up that trail. You can see there's kind of like a trail over there. I could get over there, but it looks like I dead-ended and came back anyway. So I think we'll go this direction. Let's see how far here we can get without getting too sloppy. Actually, if I crawl through the woods here, we are definitely adventuring today. I see a path up here. Alright. Look at that. We found the path. And we didn't get muddy. Looks like last time I must have been stomping around down here. I don't know if I was lost or if there's something in particular I was looking at. But my all trails is going all over the place there. We're going to keep heading this way. It was also a little bit easier to explore. Huh. It looks like... So if I go that way, I would get back out to the main road. I'm going to backtrack a hair, and then I might come right back to this. I feel like there was another pond, and with all that swamp stuff, it kind of tells me it's not too far away. Alright, we're going to duck through these trees. Whee! And come out down here. So I'm not on any path that I had originally been on, but this looks happy. And my instincts were correct. I see a pond. I don't think this is the one that I'm remembering. I feel like I had seen one that was bigger. But you just never know what you're gonna find. Yeah, this isn't the one. This is not on the path I walked. Alright. Nice rock if you want to swim over there and sit. So it looks like I may have walked up above this. So I'm actually going to try. We're going to go this way. I'm going to go this direction and follow my all trails and see. So it looks like I made a loop. And if I follow this, it looks like I'll connect with that loop at some point. So we're going to find out. There's definitely all kinds of trails through here. I would guess a lot of them are hunting trails. into another palm forest here. I know it's hard to believe, but I am actually on a path. I'm going to scan you so you can see where I'm at. I can see where I need to go, but it's been a lot of So where I'm standing now, when I scan out, this is what I see. And I know I need to go that way. I have emerged. Here's the crazy part. I did all of that, and I literally went in right down there on the edge of the forest, not all that far away, and I came out here. Well, I was supposed to come out there. I came out over there. So, always an adventure. You're definitely roughing it a little bit when you go out into the woods here.